What is the growth forecast for cloud-based communications?
So this is interesting because the research is all over the board, but I'm going to communicate a consistent theme, regardless of the nominal or the numbers. The direction is absolutely in one direction. So depending on which research organization you look at, I've got everything from in 2020, the value of the market for global communication platform is anywhere from, on the low end in 2020, it was estimated to be 3.2 billion. Another organization said no, it was 16 billion. Another said 26 billion. Gartner said 46 billion is the value of that market in 2020. And then another said 48 billion. So pick your number, but from that starting point, I'll just give you Gartner because everyone's familiar with Gartner. But I'm telling you, there's numbers on either side of this. Gartner believes by 2025, the unified communications market will be 140 billion. And that's a growth rate, I believe, a compounded annual growth rate of around 25%. So regardless of wherever that market is, which is less relevant to us, I think, as users, it's the direction it's going. What are our peers? What is our competitive set doing? Are our competitors moving to these technologies, and should we be looking at it also? I think that's the key thing. It's interesting to me that Gartner also estimates there's only about 35% penetration. So only 35% of companies are using these unified communications technologies right now. So there's a big upside in that industry. There's a lot of room to grow. And I will tell you just from personal experience, obviously, Cressa is a corporate real estate firm, and we see when people are relocating their offices and warehouses. But I will tell you that if an organization is relocating, that's a major trigger for many decisions, including technology. If they are currently on a PBX, a private branch exchange, on-premise, there's about a 90% chance they will move to a unified communications platform. It's just that common right now. And I think it's because the IT department and the rest of the organization sees this as the opportunity. Hey, we've got to move that PBX anyways. As long as we are towards the end of that contract or month to month, let's go ahead and do the project, put this project on the books to move to unified communications. So it's a very high adoption rate if there's a trigger like that.
If they're not moving, Jay, what are typically the biggest barriers to entry?
I think it's two things. I think it's hard. A stone at rest tends to stay at rest. So that's just one more project, and IT departments are running super thin anyway. So that's a barrier. And there's a learning curve barrier. So it's, do we really want to take on that project? We've got all these other projects to work on, and we're going to have to learn about that. And then the feedback is sometimes there's bandwidth issues. So they say, you know what, we're just not sure if it's a portfolio company that has multiple locations. There's a concern that the bandwidth at each of those locations will not support a unified communications platform like that, cloud-based. And so then that's a network project that needs to precede the voice project.
And it's all fiber's not also ubiquitous, right?
Precisely.
One particular provider has their routes here, another provider has their routes there, right? So you might be switching horses along the way.
That's right.